Picture this. A YouTuber sits in their brand new Tesla saying, "Money doesn't buy happiness, but it sure makes life easier." Scroll a bit further, and someone's filming a breakdown in a luxury apartment. "I have everything I ever wanted. Why do I still feel empty?" So, what's the deal? Does money really bring happiness? Or is that just a comforting lie we tell ourselves when we don't have enough? We went down the internet rabbit hole, Reddit, YouTube confessions, TikTok rants, and real-world studies, to figure out what people really think. Let's get into the internet's verdict. We grow up hearing both sides. Money can't buy happiness. But I'd rather cry in a Lamborghini. For many, money represents freedom. Freedom from stress, from bad jobs, from saying no to what you want. But once basic needs are covered, does more money actually make you happier? That's where things get murky. The internet is full of people who reached their income goals and felt nothing. Or worse, even more anxious. Now let's see what people are saying on the internet, starting with Reddit on subreddits like Simple Living, Poverty, Financial Independence, and others. One user wrote, "Aside from poverty where your basic physical and emotional needs can't be met, money does not buy true happiness. True happiness is an inner peace that transcends security and access to experiences that you refer to. In fact, some comforts that you are striving for are the opposite of freedom. They become dependencies. That's why even people with unlimited wealth cannot achieve any inner peace." Let's say you are relatively poor but in a Western society, where poverty isn't a threat to you. Then money can buy you some luxuries and opportunities that might appear in the guise of happiness. In that sense, yes, money can buy you happiness. But in reality, you are just placing yourself on another part of a continuum of wants and needs that are never truly fulfilling. So, it really depends on your definition of happiness. Maybe your definition of what it means to be happy is different from those who live by "Money doesn't buy you happiness." I say this having witnessed people in poverty who still manage to lead a life full of meaning. Whereas I know of other people who are materially comfortable but living in hell, in their own heads. Another user added, "The saying is about understanding that money is a tool. A means to an end that doesn't do anything by itself. Trying to become truly happy by amassing money is like trying to build a house by amassing construction tools. It gives you a ton of possibilities but doesn't actually get you any closer to the goal." The reason this saying is important is because many people, especially young people, make it their goal to become rich and famous, and that's it. There is no actual reason behind it. Just be rich. And then? For what? What are you gonna do with it? Enough people make it their main focus to get a lot of money, and by the time they have it, it's what they do and stays that way. In other words, if you have a deep understanding of what you truly care about, and which values actually matter, then this saying isn't directed at you. This is for the shallow, short-sighted ones. And listen, I know very well what financial struggle looks like. Living it right now, yay for being an artist. But still I do not care for money. It's meaningless to me. Would I like to have enough to never have to think about it again? Sure. Do I need it to be happy? No, because I am successful in the metrics that matter to me. Accomplishing the things I am actually ambitious about. So I have to disagree. If you think money does buy happiness, it is you who does not understand life. Happiness is a fleeting emotion. Holding on to it is impossible. But we can make room for it more often if the life we live is meaningful. And money doesn't mean anything. Another user added, "Money doesn't buy happiness." It's a statement that is a complete and utter lie that is only used to keep the poor from feeling bad about their current situations. Of course, money buys happiness. The world was literally built on the idea of currency. You'd have to be an absolute buffoons to assume anything different. 'Cause as any sane human being would understand and see, money is the one thing we need to survive. Due to the absolutely disgusting thing we call human greed, we've created a system where life without money leads to nothing but unhappiness and hardship. Really think about it for a second. Have you ever seen an happy homeless person? Just a person who isn't begging for money or sitting on the corner while directly looking into your eyes only for you to ignore them like they were the scum of the earth. Exactly. They beg for money out of desperation, not because they're happy with their current situation. Look, I get it. The saying is supposed to talk about how experiences can't be bought, and how good memories aren't made with money. However, you must understand that money has and always will play a role in your happiness. That trip to Florida didn't pay itself, and neither did the people who enjoyed it with you. Call me pessimistic all you want, but if you really want true happiness, you might as well be willing to drop a few dollars in order to enjoy yourself. Another one added, I'm 25, female, and I haven't quite figured out the whole money doesn't buy happiness trope that I keep seeing in people's stories. I want to be one of those people who doesn't spend all their money on seemingly unnecessary stuff. But that's just it, it's not unnecessary. I'm an artist, self-proclaimed, and that means I constantly need supplies for the different media I work with. My hobbies include video gaming, and we all know how expensive that can be. I also love food, whether it's trying new restaurants or cooking elaborate meals at home, that costs an arm and a leg for someone in their mid-20s. The things that make me happy, the things that are supposed to be part of my rest and relaxation or non-stressful outlets, are the things I end up spending most of my money on. So I genuinely don't understand when people say, money doesn't buy happiness. If you have a lifestyle you want, aren't you supposed to work for it? But I'm not getting there. I can't afford the things that make me happy. And when people say, well, just find new things to enjoy, I think, that's not fair. Why do I have to compromise and settle, while Ms. Thing on Instagram gets to live her dream life just because she has money? What am I not understanding here? Update. Just to clarify, the Ms. Thing I'm referring to is actually my best friend from freshman year of high school. She's an OnlyFans girl who has barely worked a real job in her life. She's drop-dead gorgeous and makes so much money. She also lives in another state now, so I mostly see her life through social media. It's really hard not to feel envious or jealous. But if I unfollow or ghost her, her mom will call me asking what happened. So I'm stuck, emotionally and socially, in this weird place. Another user wrote, same. I mean, happiness comes from within. You could be the literal king of the world and still be depressed. You could be the most charismatic person but still be lonely. But having the money to not worry would take a lot of weight off my shoulders. I may not achieve enlightenment if I get enough hard cold cash, but I could travel where I want, eat what I want, dress how I want, start any hobbies more easily. I could afford to work less. I could have the money I needed to have a nice wedding, and buy a house, and support a family in such a way that gives me pride, etc., etc. One thing that really bothers me about the fact that rich people exist is tied to this issue. I have to really grind and work hard to get the things I want in life. People with a lot of money have the ability to hire a trainer to give them the specific diet and workout they need, specifically curated to their body. They can afford tailors and designers to create the exact outfit they have in their mind. They can hire private cooks and dietitians to give them the best quality, healthiest, most nourishing meal. They can decide to be anywhere, go anywhere, do anything, the second they want to do it. And when they go anywhere, or do anything, they are basically guaranteed the best possible service and experience. I'm just tired of giving 75% of my life to a job that doesn't respect me, and still not being able to afford basic human decency. Having to decide between buying a new pair of pants because most of mine have holes, or whether or not to buy an extra ingredient, or a lot of the times just an extra box of plastic macaroni so I don't have to skip as many meals. Or having to decide between a gym membership and my phone bill. Or a Metro card and an application fee for a school or club or activity I want to pursue. All while being advertised to about some abstract idea of a dream life, where I have things, and I'm happy because if then happiness isn't bought, money doesn't equal joy, But I would feel a lot more secure and less anxious about finances if I could snap my fingers and have the highest quality food when I need it, or a personal trainer to help me get in shape, or if I could just afford to travel and take time off of a work schedule that is borderline oppressive to me and consumes most of my waking hours. I want money to be able to live and do the things that I find joy in, not so I can afford to go into work and make more money, and then rinse and repeat, ad infinitum, until the day that I die. Even just enough money to live where I want to, eat how I want, wear the clothes I want, and raise a family. I don't have to be the wealthiest person on the planet. On YouTube, thousands of creators have posted about hitting their financial goals and feeling surprisingly hollow. One viral video titled "I Became a Millionaire and Felt Nothing" features a tech worker saying, "I was chasing numbers. Now I'm chasing purpose." On TikTok, it's even more raw. Creators show before and after montages. Struggling and hopeful versus successful and numb. One woman posted, "I thought money would cure my depression. It didn't. It just gave me nicer sheets to cry in." But not all stories are cynical. Others say money gave them what really matters. Therapy, travel, quitting toxic jobs, helping loved ones, buying back time. A Princeton study found happiness rises with income, but only up to about $75,000 to $100,000 per year. Beyond that, diminishing returns. A 2021 study from Wharton challenged that, suggesting happiness can keep increasing with income. But only if you already enjoy what you do. Meanwhile, Google searches like, "Does money really make you happy? Why am I still unhappy with money? Rich but depressed." Keep trending upward. So yeah, people are definitely thinking about this. Talking about money and happiness is awkward. We're taught to avoid the topic, especially if we have money. Admitting it didn't fix everything? That sounds ungrateful. But in anonymous posts and comment sections, the truth slips out. Money solved my problems, but not my emptiness. I'm not happier. I'm just more comfortable being sad. Others say the freedom money brings is happiness. It just has to be used the right way. Pros of having more money: security and reduced stress, access to better health, education, and opportunities, freedom to walk away from toxic environments, ability to give and create impact. Cons people mention: emptiness when goals are purely financial, pressure to keep earning more, shallow relationships or isolation, losing meaning or purpose. So, is money really the root of happiness? Here's the internet's verdict. Money doesn't guarantee happiness. But lacking money almost always brings unhappiness. The key? Using money as a tool, not a destination. Now it's your turn. What's your verdict? Has money made your life better, or just more complicated? Drop a comment below. And hit subscribe if you love internet deep dives just like this one. Next time, we're unpacking another question everyone's silently Googling.